The Japanese are known for their ability to absorb outside ideas, improve them and then flog them back to where they came from for half the price. Whether it's cars, appliances or video, they are the masters of the technological world. So it was only a matter of time before Japan moved into the contemporary art world. And for a country obsessed with consumerism, it's no surprise that its art should be fixated on consumption. And now today's Japanese artists are consuming their own pop culture and throwing it back up on the walls of art galleries around the world. And we, the world, can't get enough of it. It's J-art, Japanese pop art. Tonight, Japanorama investigates how and why J-art has become so blooming ginormous. Japanese pop art has several acknowledged masters, but there's one in particular whose brilliance is recognised not only in the international art community, but in the world of fashion and beyond. Takashi Murakami is a thoroughly modern artist. Even beyond his work, which is fantastic, he engages the public like no artist since Andy Warhol in the 1960s. And Murakami has his own hair. The current surge of interest in Japanese pop art really kicked off with a young artist named Takashi Murakami. Bored with the stagnant world of traditional Japanese art, he looked to contemporary culture for inspiration. And he found it in the otaku or uber-nerd passions of anime and manga. He has created subversive characters with names like Mr. Dob, a mad manic mouse, and Kai Kakai, two cute animal figures with an abundance of eyes. He dubbed this new style super flat, referring to the way it flattens tradition, modernity and even other media into a new oneness. I met him at his studio outside Tokyo, where he showed me his latest rendition of Mr. Dob. Wow, this is incredible. Can I ask, I hope this doesn't seem crude, how much would a painting like this?
War. So looks like our culture doesn't have the ball.
Well,
impotence.
So
that's why
you were castrated by the war. Some might say the Japanese invented cute, giving us the likes of Hello Kitty as a reaction against the brutal image the war had given the country.
That's why probably after war the people can create a very reasonable way to the entertainment. The manga is super reasonable.
Yeah. It seems to be that people are looking more to Japan, to the East for inspiration, and that you are more influential now. Is that fair, do you think? Is that true at the moment?
Maybe, you know, wave for that. Now is a Japanese something.
Japanese wave?
I think so.
But Murakami doesn't look only to manga and anime for inspiration. Some of it comes from good old Mother Nature. It's interesting because you can see these shapes in his work, just like the great Victorian artists were inspired by nature as well. Now that could be something, and you know, you put that through a computer and bung some colours on there. That's it. Murakami-san, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Very much.
And continued success with your work. I think it is fabulous.
Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimashita. To find out how much of an effect Murakami's super flat movement has had on modern Japanese art, I went to this exhibition, held every year to help up-and-coming artists get their work seen.
I think he's made a huge achievement. Japanese pop art has a tremendous amount of power. Otaku is no longer a specifically Japanese thing.
The characters I created are images of healing. They are round and fat with bulging bellies. The first time I saw Murakami's work, I was very impressed with the way he combined his art with manga.
I really love manga since I was a kid, and when I started working as a graphic designer, we were also creating characters. It was then that I first got interested in characters as a method of expression.
So Murakami's super flat movement has inspired a wealth of young artists, soon to be unleashed on an unsuspecting art world. Fetch.
1.3 million.
Wow. It's very kind of you to give it to me. What makes Murakami a true pop artist and a hugely successful one is his spin on Andy Warhol's idea of turning consumer products into art. Murakami turns his own art into consumer products. His mountain of merchandise includes Murakami toys, Murakami sweets, badges, flowers, Monopoly, calendars, cuddly toys. When is something you make, when is it just a toy? Or when is it a piece of art that can be used as a toy? Is there a difference?
Japanese people really love in art, but Japanese people same time cannot buy the art piece. That's why I'm making for the merchandise. Something like that, $200, $300 is okay.
He also collaborated with fashion icon Louis Vuitton on this bag, which sold for $5,000 and became one of the most copied handbags ever. He even went full circle and made an animated art film for Louis Vuitton that was perhaps the ultimate blending of art and commerce. By creating characters based on anime and manga and giving them a darker twist, Murakami is making powerful statements about